being completely honest, this is the first time I've seen this box in the last minute or so, and it says Foam Ball Blaster Gun, which is probably the most, like, this will just tick off everybody, because they use the proper term, blaster, but then they also called it a gun, so there's really no winning. But if you're paying attention to this, you're missing the absolute gold. That includes 20 pieces of soft balls in total. It doesn't get any better than that. What the heck is this thing? Well, looks like a Nemesis, but as you can probably tell, she's not very big. So that's a little interesting. And it's from BCP. Contents and colors may vary from illustration. It's definitely some kind of rival-ish blaster. Best choice imports, but there's no, like, it looks like a Blaze Storm blaster, but I honestly can't tell. Back of the box shows us it takes 8 AA bat. I don't even think I have 8. Why does it take 8 of them? Load the soft balls, make sure the magazine door, they called it a magazine, even though it's technically a hopper. No spring or anything in it. Fully close before playing, turn on the power button, wait 10 seconds until the motor spins freely. Pull trigger to fire one soft ball, pull trigger again to fire another soft foam ball. Okay, so this thing is a semi-auto with no rev trigger or anything like that, with a hopper to make it look like a Nemesis, with a jam door. This is one of the weirdest off-brands I've ever heard. It doesn't have any range claims or anything on it, and I am super curious about this thing, because if the hopper is pretty big and easy to reload, and if the motors are a decent size, like typical Rival size, and we can upgrade it, then this might be something I've been looking for, because all I have to do is install a rev trigger and be pretty good, so let's get it out of the box. And that is essentially everything, so this looks like your typical China ammo. It's got a C on it. I'm not sure what that's about. Cornucopia? I think that was one of the knockoff Rival runs, but I'm not entirely sure. The blaster itself, grip is really comfortable, although this right here is kind of weird. It's got one of those like non-stocks. It's not really big enough to be a stock, although you can certainly use it for that, but it also works. I'm not quite certain. Is there any agitator? It looks like there is an agitator in there, because there's something going on. Can we remove this hopper like you can with the Nemesis or anything like that? There's no instructions, so honestly I couldn't tell. Oh, and mine's broken! Oh, come on, man! Yeah, mine's got a big old crack running through it. This was sent to me by my friend Greg, and I really appreciate it. Now I'm a little annoyed that it's broken, but I guess it's still fully functional. It's got a rail on it, which looks mysteriously pickety. And yeah, it's kind of a baby Nemesis. So if I grab a Nemesis here, you can see it's like, I would say about 2/3 the size. The Nemesis is freaking huge compared to this little thing, but it's obviously inspired by the Nemesis. So that's weird. How many rounds does the hopper hold? Because if it looks like it only holds like the 20. Most of the hopper here is completely useless clear plastic that's blocked off. That is a little disappointing, because 20 is not enough. It'll probably hold like 30, 35, just barely though. I'm already shoving balls into flywheels. Actually, that's a good question. What are the, it's already open. Looks like standard Rival-sized wheels. Well, this is just weird. It's a really comfortable blaster, but I mean, what is the point of it? Because it's a semi-auto, essentially Nemesis. And I really don't see the point of that, and the hopper is so small that I don't think it's gonna matter, because, yeah, that is a dinky hopper. But, let's try to find enough batteries to power this thing up. I really don't have any hopes of finding 8 AA batteries. That is just an insane amount. And I'm sure the velocity is going to be crap, because it tells you to wait in between each shot. There we go, we'll throw one Duracell in here just to really, really upset someone. Hold on a second. What the heck are the last 2 batteries for? Oh. Is that seriously? Are you joking me right now? Oh, ow, it does actually pack a punch. It still jams. There we go. At least the on-off button is easy to reach, but wow! Why? I have all of the questions. I've been sitting here for a couple of minutes trying to entirely figure out what I'm looking at here. So it's a semi-auto Nemesis, much like the Adventure Force or Dart Zone Accelerator kind of stuff like that, except for it has an electronic agitator, like a Prometheus or a Nemesis or a Perseus or whatnot, that is constantly running, but with no rev trigger or anything like that. So this is your on-off switch, and it's got like a 20 round, maybe 30 round hopper on the top. I don't get it. It's like they made their own thing, but they did it in like the hardest way possible. And I'm really confused about this development here. It's jammed. Oh, God, it jammed the agitator. Okay, so you know how sometimes you have a Nemesis, right? And you're firing it and it stops firing and you kind of have to jostle it like that, and usually that's good enough to keep it going, which is one of the things I hate about the Nemesis. This is that like 13 times worse because you have to pull the trigger for every shot, and there's nothing like pulling the trigger, seeing ammo in the chamber, and yet it's not firing. Is that a lock? What is the point of this piece of plastic right here? I don't think there's any point to that piece of plastic. It's just a thing in there. It doesn't look like it's connected to anything. So all things aside, this is a $30 blaster you can get off Amazon. It's not terrible. It looks pretty cool. It's very comfortable, I would say. This thing digging into my wrist isn't exactly great, but if I don't try to hold it like that, if I hold it like that, it works a little bit better. But I'm still confused why you would ever pick one of these up over something like, say, the Accelerator or whatnot, because those are very similar, and I think that has a much more effective agitator, which this thing, like, I guess this looks cooler? I was really hoping to like this thing, and I'm struggling to find its use in our ecosystem. $84, $79, $81. It's not bad. The rounds are really nice from what I've seen. It hits reasonably hard for, stock Rival stuff. This is not a bad little loading gate. You don't have to worry about this weird pod sitting off the top or anything like that, although you lose the ability to switch pods if you so choose. It's got a nice form factor. It looks cool in my opinion. Why? That's my problem with it. It's like, it's so weird. Somebody out there is gonna like this thing. And it may not be exactly me, I'm not sure. I bet with a LiPo rewire, which is gonna be hard because there's not a whole lot of space in this tray, I'm guessing you can get this thing hitting pretty hard. And the motor sizes look like they're standard Rival, so it may be worth picking up. You never know. But this is just a weird amalgamation of blasters, and whatever came out, I was really hoping this thing would have to hold like 50 rounds and be like a knockoff Perseus or something like that you could get, but no, it's a semi-auto. Doesn't even work that good as a semi-auto because, every 4 shots this thing's gonna jam up. And I don't see how you would hold more than like the 20 included softballs. Goose! That is... I don't know how to score this thing. I mean, is it worth 30 bucks? Maybe. Is it something you need to pick up? I don't think so. This is the weirdest... this has to be like a Blaze Storm Blaster, and I just don't know about it. Let me know what you think about the BCP Blaster Gun down in the comment section below, because I really don't feel like this is a bad blaster. I feel like there's something about it I might be missing, but I honestly don't know if it really has any place. I like the fact that semi-auto, I just wish it was more reliable, and I don't really think I see myself throwing away a velocity or accelerator to get this thing, although I would say it is reasonably more comfortable. But yeah, it doesn't have... No, I'm really confused. I need guidance. Otherwise, I'm Walcom S7. Thank you very much for watching this video, and of course, I hope to see you in an entirely different one. That's just weird, man. You gotta